Hi. Farage, Tribune of the Working Class. Verdict of Andy Haldane, former Bank of England Chief of Staff. What we seem to be getting here is establishment figures dipping their toes into endorsing Reform UK with an eye on the distant general election. Haldane, who appears to be delivering a form of backhanded analysis, believes that Reform UK somehow speak to the concerns of the working class, of which I suspect he has absolutely no knowledge of whatsoever. Haldane states, and there's little to dispute here, I don't think there's any politician that comes to even remotely close to speaking for and to blue-collar working-class Britain. It also appears he's hedging his bets. This is a plea to mainstream politicians to reconnect with the working class voters. But I think it's all too late. Farage, Tash, Youssef are all multi-millionaires. Tribunes of the working class is the whole idea beyond satire. What this really is all about is that these politicians of the populist right are skilled at tapping into the fears, alienation, sometimes prejudices of parts of the white working class. What Haldane, along with, for differing reasons, the Liberal left failed to realise is that the working class is multiracial, more so than the other classes. But it is true that despite being the majority of the population, we have no political or social representation worth talking about. Any working class support for reform is a sign of desperation, despair, born out of abandonment by the mainstream parties of the establishment, which shows no signs of abatement. Any attempt at reconciliation will be rebuffed, and quite rightly so. Maybe reform a last chance saloon of the establishment to hold on to their domination of everything. And reform support could possibly grow with eventually them taking power. Then what? They've no viable solutions to anything, just another party crammed full of power-hungry, self-seeking politicians, spouting populist rhetoric. They have no intention of threatening the status quo. But at the moment, they seem to be unstoppable. Meanwhile, us anarcho-malcontents and those opposed to and wishing to overthrow this feudal capitalist society will have to continue with the task of subversion and anti-authority activity as we observe the rise of right-wing populism, awaiting any opportunity to join and extend any revolutionary upheaval, which, ironically, a future Reform UK regime's quick disintegration could provide. Bye.